January 1st, 2026. Almost 50 people killed and 115 injured in New Year's Eve inferno as new video reveals fatal design flaw being blamed for horrifying Swiss ski resort disaster. Mayor Zoran Mamdani hosts inauguration at NYC's City Hall. NYC mayor names Al-Qaeda defense lawyer honored by CARE and Soros family as chief counsel. Sick and sleepy Trump, 79, begs staff for easier schedule. Trump labeled Ukraine envoy idiot for backing Zelensky, says New York Times. Trump admin halts child care payments nationwide until states provide evidence of legitimate spending. Absolutely blew my mind. Watch TSA agents spill beans on Somali men flying potentially billions of dollars out of U.S. in carry-on luggage. Minnesota. Police dispute Somali-run daycare claiming documents stolen. CNN's attempt to debunk what a YouTuber uncovered regarding Somali daycare fraud is why they're mocked. Tony Dokapil says, "Don't just trust me, make me earn it." CBS anchor vows more focus on average American amid upheaval at network. The U.S. self-appointed anti-Semitism watchdog is ignoring the country's biggest source of anti-Semitism. California sets up a showdown with Washington by reissuing licenses to migrant truckers. Influencer Paul Kim's son, 5, dies after contracting severe case of the flu. Amy Sedaris creates awkward silence on CNN New Year's Eve broadcast over trans joke. Cracker Barrel abandons beloved New Year's dish without any kind of warning. The Toronto District School Board was duped into sending $1 million to fraudster who can barely spell. January 2nd, 2026. Sparklers held near ceiling started Swiss ski resort fire, investigators believe. Swiss bar fire likely spread by flashover with 1,000-degree temps. Trump says if Iran kills protesters, U.S. will come to their rescue. Tesla loses EV crown to BYD after second annual sales drop. SpaceX will move 4,400 satellites to a lower orbit after China cited safety risk. Heroic off-duty ICE agent guns down active shooter in L.A. ICE Barbie plotting to send goons into new target city. Horrifying scenes unfold at Rice, Texas State football game as parachutist plunges into crowd. McDonald's employee hospitalized after reaching into fryer to retrieve Airbud. Will Smith accused of sexual harassment by America's Got Talent star in lawsuit. Mamdani vows to ditch the rugged individualism of free markets and embrace the warmth of collectivism. Somaliland denies hosting Israeli bases and resettling Palestinians. Year of the Snake. We talked to the Muslim Republican candidate who's down for ISIS. We're still confused. California is the poster child for fraud and financial waste. Trump wants to overhaul the president's golf course. He hasn't played there yet. Health officials urge beachgoers to avoid ocean water at LA County beaches after rain. Australia enforces age ID checks for search engine users. January 3rd, 2026. F around, find out. USA bombs Venezuela. Successfully carried out large-scale strike, an assault unlike anyone has seen since World War II. Taken aboard. Venezuelan dictator appears blindfolded, handcuffed, and first picture aboard USS Iwo Jima, flown to NYC to face justice. U.S. captures Venezuela's leader and his wife in a stunning operation and plans to prosecute them. Maduro indicted in New York, says U.S. Attorney General. Slurring Trump says U.S. will run Venezuela and seize oil. Trump says Machado lacks support, respect to lead. Female Nobel Peace Prize winner who's set to become Venezuela's new president after Maduro was captured by Trump. Venezuela demands U.S. provide proof of life of Maduro. U.S. may have bombed mausoleum of late dictator Hugo Chavez in Caracas. Democrats confused why Venezuelans cheering downfall of nice, warm collectivism. You know libs are going to melt down after Trump dropped a new term justifying the Venezuelan invasion. Arab and Muslim support for Saudi invite for dialogue on Yemen. Tech billionaire wants government to control social media so we can limit the First Amendment in order to protect it. Rep. Swalwell vows to strip driver's licenses from ICE officers who wear masks if elected California governor. I came to see Mamdani's first big speech as mayor. I found something else entirely. Rural Health Fund awarded to all 50 states, but Trump admin can still claw back cash. Florida citrus in crisis as invasive predator spreads. January 4th, 2026. Maduro now in New York jail as Trump says U.S. to run Venezuela. Smirking Maduro makes first public remarks since being captured as Venezuelan dictator arrives in New York wearing handcuffs. Storming the fortress. Trump says Maduro was bum-rushed trying to enter his safety space. Trump snatches Maduro but leaves his regime in charge for now. Venezuela VP gives first remarks since Maduro capture, says U.S. action has Zionist tint. Trump gives away the game. It's all about oil. Dead of night abduction. Details, CIA source, replica home, 150 aircraft. Trump says U.S. will run Venezuela, keep oil flowing to China after Maduro capture. The America First president takes on the world. Venezuelans around the world celebrate U.S. capture of Maduro. U.S. Republicans back Trump on Venezuela amid faint MAGA dissent. Furious Dems float retaliation over Trump's insane Venezuela attack. War room photos catch Trump and goons scrolling social media. Then it is war. Elon Musk responds after Somali TikToker threatens his life. Iran's leader says rioters must be put in their place as protest death toll reaches at least 15. Trump admin sues Virginia for giving in-state tuition to illegals attending college. California ban on open carry of firearms ruled unconstitutional by appeals court. Evangeline Lilly has brain damage after falling face first on boulder. January 5th, 2026. Dominoes falling. Trump warns Cuba ready to fall after Maduro capture left Cuban officers dead. Trump on return trip to Washington predicts demise of Cuba, warns Colombia, threatens Greenland. PMs of Greenland and Denmark tell Trump to stop U.S. takeover threats. Delcy Rodriguez becomes Venezuela's interim president after Maduro's ouster. Rubio says U.S. won't govern Venezuela but will press for charges through oil blockade. Rubio, who long dreamed of ousting Maduro, takes charge of Venezuela. U.S. forces killed large part of Maduro's security team. To run Venezuela, Trump presses existing regime to kneel. The long arm of the law. Notorious socialist dictator perp walked ahead of facing full wrath of American justice. DOJ says Maduro used diplomatic planes to fly cocaine money from Mexico to Venezuela. Biden had a $25 million bounty on Maduro. Now Democrats are saying it's bad we captured him. Democrats stand behind imprisoned narco-terrorist Maduro. DNC fundraise in protest of Trump admin's capture of Venezuelan dictator. Maduro's dad dancing trolled Trump enough to push button on kidnap mission. 60 Minutes puts on Trump enemy after CBS censored show. Cash-strapped, NYC subways jump to crazy $3 per ride, and strap hangers aren't happy. Straight-up tyranny. NYC councilwoman sounds alarm over Mamdani's threat to landlords. President Trump and Elon Musk attend dinner together at Mar-a-Lago. January 6, 2026. President Nicolas Maduro pleads not guilty to charges of narco-terrorism. How Congress blew all their chances to stop Trump's war with Venezuela. Venezuela's new leader is who global oil wanted all along. Trump's foray into Venezuela could embolden Russia and China's own aggression. The once secret memo that justifies Trump's Venezuela invasion is dangerously wrong. China's sensitive technology at risk after Trump abducts Venezuela leader Maduro. The fuck around and find out presidency. Colombian leader threatens to take up arms in wake of new Trump threat. Mexico denounces arrest of Venezuela's president as Mark Carney issues carefully worded statement. A $400,000 profit on Maduro's capture raises insider trading questions on Polymarket. Tim Walz won't seek Minnesota re-election in stunning defeat for Democrats. Minneapolis Hilton cancels DHS's reservations because they are not allowing any ICE or immigration agents to stay. War Secretary Pete Hegseth to cut seditious Democrat Senator Mark Kelly's military retirement pay, censure, and demote Arizona politician. Secrets of hammer attacker at J.D. Vance's home. Suspect is transgender child of millionaire surgeon and Democrat donor as ultra-privileged lifestyle is revealed. MAGA-coded CBS anchor falls apart in evening news debut. Money talks. Desperate Iranian leaders reportedly dangle $7 handouts as protests sweep nation. Jimmy Kimmel targets Donald Jennifer Trump after winning Best Talk Show, refers to his removal from TV as an almost near-death experience. January 7, 2026. Trump warns Republicans they have to win midterms or he'll get impeached. Trump announces new childhood vaccine schedule of 11 shots, down from 72. Trump does imitation of trans weightlifter beating women. I shouldn't be laughing this hard. Trump in extraordinary face-off with Starmer and Macron over Greenland as president threatens to seize island by force. Rubio tells lawmakers Trump aims to buy Greenland, downplays military action. Venezuela turning over $2 billion in oil to U.S., Trump says, in move that could cut supply to China. Trump's former Russia advisor says Russia offered U.S. free rein in Venezuela in exchange for Ukraine. All thought out. Why did Trump leave Venezuela under Maduro loyalist control? Report on CIA appears to paint picture. Maduro judge, 92, spotted sleeping during major trial. Yemen's STC leader al-Zubaydi has fled to unknown location, did not board plane to Riyadh, says coalition. The Democrats held a January 6 anniversary vigil, and it's far more cringeworthy than you could have imagined. CIA turncoat Aldrich Ames, who sold U.S. secrets to the Soviets, died in prison at 84. California Rep. Doug LaMafia dies, further narrowing GOP margin in Congress. China creates world's first clone hybrid rice that could double global output. Federal prosecutors release transcripts of the Brown and MIT shooter admitting to murders. Ringleader of $250 million Minnesota welfare fraud scandal ordered by judge to forfeit Porsche and luxury goods. 2 cabinet ministers stripped to a bikini by Grok AI. January 8, 2026. Fatal ICE shooting in Minneapolis inflames storm over Trump deportations. Mother of kind woman shot dead by ICE agents says she was probably terrified. Tears of despair. Video appears to show hysterical blonde-covered wife of woman killed by ICE crying out, "It's my fault." ICE agent behind fatal Minnesota shooting acted in self-defense, says Trump. ICE officer who killed woman was previously dragged in vehicle ramming, says Noam. Trump isn't just defending ICE for killing a woman, he's taking it a chilling step further. The Trump doctrine, violence is us. Furious Democrats threaten government shutdown after Minneapolis shooting. Walz prepares Minnesota National Guard for possible deployment following ICE shooting, says state is at war with federal government. 2 killed in shooting in Mormon church parking lot in Salt Lake City. Trump withdraws U.S. from 66 international organizations and treaties, including major climate groups. Europe draws red line on Greenland after a year of trying to pacify Trump. Trump's bid to block corporate home buying blindsides Wall Street. Trump team works sweeping plan to control Venezuelan oil for years to come. Odious debt. Why China is at risk of painful losses in post-Maduro Venezuela. Hilarious. Comedian provides instructions on how to start a corrupt Somali daycare in 3 easy steps. Ford government approves transmission line through Lake Ontario to power Toronto. January 9th, 2026. ICE agent who shot mom dead named as elite squad officer previously injured by getaway car. First the shooting, then the lies. More agents head to Minnesota as U.S. blocks state from investigating. GoFundMe for ICE shooting victim Renee Nicole Good surpasses $1 million the day after her death. Minnesota wacky inflatable tube woman tells ICE to shoot her at protest. We're going to effing kill you. Militants threaten immigration officials and their families in Minneapolis. Democrats threaten to withhold funding after ICE killing in Minneapolis. Border Patrol shoot 2 people in Portland who attempted to run over agents 1 day after ICE killed mom of 3 in Minneapolis. Trump's team orders big oil into Venezuela. Do it for our country. Trump says U.S. will start hitting drug cartels on land. Military industrial stocks rally globally on Trump's belligerence. Red alert. Unthinkable report on CCP-linked property near U.S. base sparks alarm from experts. Trump says only his own morality limits presidential powers, dismissing international law. Deep red state has a hysterical liberal woman problem. Hochul and Mamdani announced plan to offer free child care in New York City for 2-year-olds, costing New York extra $1.7 billion annually. California's exodus isn't billionaires, it's regular people renting U-Hauls too. NASA will bring space station crew home early after medical issue. January 10th, 2026. Renee Nicole Good says, "I'm not mad at you," before ICE agent shot her, video shows. ICE agent calls Renee Good bitch after Minneapolis shooting. ICE agent's footage proves poet tried to run him over. Democrat narrative destroyed. Monster media scandal. Masked protesters unleashed havoc in downtown Minneapolis as anti-ICE mob storms hotel, smashes windows, and drowns streets in whistles after shooting. Trump, 79, wanders off to gaze at non-existent building. Trump promises oil executives total safety if they invest in Venezuela after Maduro ouster. Why Trump's Venezuela raid may not stop China's influence in South America. House of Cards: How American leftist groups collaborated with Maduro for over a decade. Kristi Noem impeachment goes mainstream among House Democrats. Trump calls for one-year cap on credit card rates at 10%. How PLA could use decapitation strike to counter Taiwan's porcupine strategy. Kiev mayor urges residents to evacuate. New York man indicted for threatening to kill federal agent and his children. Pennsylvania: 34-year-old man charged after stealing over 200 skeletal remains from cemeteries. Resurfaced video: Mamdani's tenant advocate says socialized housing can be funded by higher taxes and printing money. The National Park Service will void passes with stickers over Trump's face. California is free of all drought and dryness for first time in 25 years, inside the remarkable turnaround. January 11th, 2026. U.S. launches new retaliatory strikes against Daesh in Syria after deadly ambush. Digital darkness: Iran flips kill switch to hide alleged crimes as death toll rises amid protests. Iran's exiled prince says Trump giving protesters greater strength. Portland's police chief literally cries while confirming 2 illegals connected with Tren de Aragua were shot by immigration officers. U.S. protests condemn ICE killing of Renee Good and a regime that is willing to kill its own citizens. ICE goons blasted for letting car roll away during arrest. ICE is becoming too big to fail. Somali minister says Israel plans to displace Palestinians to Somaliland. Ukrainian drones set fire to Russian oil depot after Moscow launches new hypersonic missile. Trump rattles America's CEOs with series of edicts. Donald Trump orders army chiefs to draw up plan to invade Greenland, despite pushback from defense chiefs. Pink cocaine is spreading in U.S., and users don't know what's in it. Bob Weir, Grateful Dead founding member, dies at 78 of lung issues after beating cancer. There is no final curtain here. Charmed Bears stun rival Packers with legendary playoff comeback. UK Defense Secretary names world leader he'd like to kidnap. China offers full-time job to top European immunologist Andrew McPherson. The authoritarianism will be televised. January 12th, 2026. DOJ launches criminal investigation into Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Powell accuses Trump administration of political intimidation as Justice Department probes Fed Chair. Trump says he is considering very strong military options against Iran as protester death toll climbs. Iranian parliamentary speaker threatens U.S. with preemptive strikes. U-Haul truck drives into protesters, sparking chaos at Westwood protest against Iran government. Bill Maher insulted to his face by Golden Globes presenter. MAGA billionaire Bill Ackman makes five-figure donation to ICE agent who shot woman dead in Minneapolis. CNN panel sparks firestorm after Abby Phillip calls Somali families victims of Minnesota fraud. Huge fireball seen erupting over London causes travel chaos at Heathrow. China applies to put up 200,000 satellites after calling Starlink a crash risk. Google and AI chatbot maker settle lawsuit alleging chatbot drove teen to suicide. AI-generated police report mistakenly claims officer was transformed into a frog. Very advanced. U.S. used sonic weapon on Venezuelan troops, report shared by Levitt claims. Scooter Braun is unfazed by negative reactions to his Sydney Sweeney romance. There are no trust issues. National Portrait Gallery removes impeachment references next to Trump photo. Nobel Institute rejects Machado's Peace Prize offer to Trump. The Purged. January 13th, 2026. Revolution brewed. Iranians burn down mosques. Iran's exiled crown prince urges Trump to intervene soon so regime finally collapses. Trump declares himself acting president of Venezuela in ultimate rage bait. Warning: U.S. Embassy says armed Venezuelan socialists hunting down Americans. Ex-U.S. Navy sailor sentenced to nearly 17 years in prison for spying for China. Ex-Navy SEAL convicted in plot to fire explosives at police at San Diego No Kings rally. Elon Musk's ex faces ban and investigations over non-consensual bikini images. Thank the Supreme Court for Trump's latest attack on the Federal Reserve. Call this idiot. Trump ordered cabinet secretary to pressure Fed chair to cut rates. A breathtaking week of pure Trump-id. MAGA-coded CBS anchor pushes Trump's deranged pardon demand. In over their heads, soccer moms are taking up a dangerous new hobby, becoming ICE saboteurs. Bill Ackman gave $10,000 to Jonathan Ross GoFundMe created by user linked to Nazi salute image. Mamdani marches with 15,000 striking New York City nurses at height of flu season. Dilbert creator Scott Adams, 68, has just days to live as legendary cartoonist family share devastating health update. Secret Israeli army docks were exposed online. It took 6 days to close the breach. Constantinople's Antichrist and British spooks trying to split Orthodox Christianity, says Russian intel. January 14th, 2026. Trump posits Greenland vital for Golden Dome as Rubio meets officials. Trump envoy not welcome at Greenland dog sled race, say organizers. Iran's judiciary signals fast trials and executions for detained protesters despite Trump's warning. Woman dragged from car by federal agents during chaos in Minneapolis as officials threaten to arrest anybody that interferes with ICE. Oglala Sioux tribe says 3 tribal members arrested in Minneapolis are in ICE detention. Trump says F you and gives finger to heckler who called him pedo protector. Device that may be tied to Havana syndrome obtained by U.S. government. Justice Alito asks for definition of man and woman. Trans athlete lawyer says we do not have a definition for the court. House Oversight Committee moves to hold Bill Clinton in contempt of Congress for failing to appear for Epstein deposition. Very little plastic being recycled in California as state efforts falter. The FTC accuses AI search engine of rampant consumer deception. MAGA-coded anchor pleads with viewers after ratings collapse. St. Peter shows Scott Adams to his glorious heavenly cubicle. GTA Online user-created Charlie Kirk kill missions removed and banned. Chicago Teachers Union misspells the word governor on left-wing propaganda poster. The bank behind Ryan Wedding's cocaine empire, or a modest jeweler who put zero on his income taxes. Bail court hears two versions of Roland Sokolovsky. How a grainy video of Renee Good's anguished wife convinced right-wing media to blame the widow. January 15th, 2026. Mayhem in Mini. Illegal Venezuelan migrant shot in Minneapolis after mercilessly ambushing Fed agent with snow shovel. Phony Dem narrative disintegrates. ICE officer who fatally shot woman in Minneapolis suffered internal bleeding to his torso. Shutting the door. Trump freezes all immigration from Somalia amid massive fraud scandal. Trump says killing in Iran is stopping with no plan for executions. Inside Trump's crazy world of milk bottles, sled dogs, and threats to bomb Iran. Greenland and Denmark say Trump set on conquering territory after meeting. Germany and France to send troops to Greenland. Trump signals bill reversing Obama-era school lunch policy, allowing whole and 2% milk again. Bill Gates Foundation announces plans to lay off up to 500 staff after $8 billion settlement to ex-wife. FBI searches WAPO reporter's home and devices. Secret Service agent placed on leave after undercover journalists claim he sent J.D. Vance's travel plans and real-time location. Rand Paul says Trump DOJ has ignored criminal referrals against Anthony Fauci. Ketanji Brown Jackson was one of few justices to recognize the trans sports cases are about real people. Chinese military says it is developing over 10 quantum warfare weapons. Astronauts depart ISS to return home after crew member falls ill. Moon to get first hotel by 2032, but don't look at the price tag. Suspended Ford workers union is fighting to save his job over Trump insult. January 16th, 2026. Majority of Americans say ICE agents' shooting of Good was unjustified and inappropriate. Minneapolis militants raid federal vehicles, steal weapons and documents. Tim Walz begs the White House to turn down the temperature after fanning anti-ICE chaos. Trump threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act. He'll need an insurrection first. Senator Ernst says Congress must cut fraud financing Democrat vote buying, constant flow of money that they've used to purchase votes through the years. Netanyahu persuaded Trump to call off airstrikes on Iran with last-ditch phone call. European troops arrive in Greenland as talks with U.S. highlight disagreement over island's future. NATO begs U.S. for emergency funding so they can defend Greenland from U.S. Venezuela's Machado gave Trump her Nobel Prize. In return, she received a swag bag, but no promise of support. Ford in talks to use BYD batteries abroad, triggering backlash. Rare tropical disease that can kill humans and dogs is spreading through Bay Area homeless encampments. Doomtown, USA, inside an American reign of terror. Dozens of players and gamblers indicted on charges of fixing college basketball games. Paramount only hit 1,300 live viewers during free YouTube premiere of woke new Star Trek show. Verizon offers credit after widespread outage. Here's how much. U.S. seizes another foreign-flagged oil tanker. FBI ends protection of Lance Twiggs, transgender roommate and romantic partner of accused Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson. January 17th, 2026. DOJ investigating Walls and Frey over alleged conspiracy to impede immigration agents. Judge orders federal agents to stop pepper spraying and retaliating against peaceful Minnesota protesters. Trump backs down from Insurrection Act threat in Minneapolis. ICE agent who shot dead Renee Good is now a millionaire through online fundraisers. Gang member arrested for stealing rifle from FBI car during Minnesota riot. Why Trump accepting Machado's Nobel Peace Prize is no laughing matter. Disgraced Michael Cohen claims Tish James coerced him to flip against Trump. FAA urges pilots to exercise caution over Eastern Pacific, citing military activities. Tehran regime plans to impose permanent break from global internet, say activists. Minnesota changes official state bird to screaming lesbian. Anaheim man accused of threatening to place pipe bombs at Disneyland ahead of J.D. Vance's visit. Trump is helping right-wing groups target Chicago Teachers Union. Tyler Robinson's lawyers just tried to get the prosecutor's office kicked off the case because a prosecutor's kid witnessed Charlie Kirk's murder. Melania Trump says, use AI to unlock imagination, but never let it replace your personal intelligence. Donald Trump says his friend got fatter after taking Ozempic. Trump says it's a good thing Carney signed a deal with China. Winter is coming. Olympic Committee reveals decision on whether to ban U.S. over Venezuela strike. January 18th, 2026. Anti-ICE demonstrators chase off outnumbered far-right activists at Minneapolis rally. Ilhan Omar is under investigation for her skyrocketing wealth as she berates reporters for questioning her about fraud. Don Lemon brainwashing session caught on tape. Watch as disgraced former CNN mouthpiece spews anti-ICE lie after lie. Trump says 8 European countries will face 10% tariff for opposing U.S. control of Greenland. Trump wants nations to pay $1 billion to stay on peace board. Syrian army surges into Kurdish-held towns in betrayal, shattering prospects of accord. Stop killing people. Trump slams sick Iranian leader as regime admits killing thousands of protesters. We will never forget. U.S. forces eliminate terrorist leader directly linked to deaths of American National Guardsmen. Trump names gold medal athletes to attend Winter Olympics opener. Manchurian generation ballot flood. More than 1 million Chinese with U.S. citizenship could vote in 2030 elections. Schweitzer exposes immigration as a weapon in the invisible coup. The rise of the political potty mouth. Trump's bizarre 7-figure lingerie purchase exposed. Appellate court rules Trudeau had no justification to freeze truckers' bank accounts. Major plumbing headache haunts $13 billion U.S. carrier off the coast of Venezuela. Trump to sue J.P. Morgan Chase for debanking him. Plainclothes Chinese guards could infiltrate protest against super embassy in London. Beloved pastry chef 71 killed in freak accident with bread-making machine. January 19th, 2026. How Trump's ruthless first year erased the Biden presidency. If he gets Greenland, Trump will go down in history as one of the great American presidents. Europe warns of dangerous downward spiral after Trump threatens tariffs over Greenland. Top Trump official says FBI won't investigate killing by ICE agent. Don Lemon joins anti-ICE protesters storming Minnesota church in chaotic scenes as stunned pastor blasts unacceptable stunt. Journalist Nick Sorter's camera apparently stolen right out of his hands as mob grows. MSN melting down over new term for liberal white women. Night of deep pain. Train collision in southern Spain leaves 21 dead. Guatemalan prison hostages freed. President declares state of siege. Boy 11 shoots dad after Nintendo taken away. After Renee Nicole Good's death, Bishop warns clergy to prepare for new era of martyrdom. Piers Morgan hospitalized after fall, undergoes hip replacement. China's birth rate plunges to lowest level since 1949. China's Davos sales pitch. Stability, reliability, and not being Trump. Iran state TV hacked, airs message urging protests to continue. AI has begun asking itself questions in order to learn more quickly. America versus the world. January 20th, 2026. Global leaders gather in Davos as Middle East tensions take center stage. Trump ties his stance on Greenland to not getting Nobel Peace Prize. Arctic showdown. Denmark deploys military to Greenland after Trump claims complete control needed. Top U.S. archbishops denounce American foreign policy. The military is being forced to plan for an unthinkable betrayal. New Hampshire bishop urges clergy to have their will ready because of ICE deportations. Minneapolis PD victim blames Nick Sorter for being where he got robbed. DOJ to investigate and arrest Don Lemon and Minneapolis church stormers. Doge cuts unexpectedly and significantly impacted critical Pentagon unit. Mexico's election plot unmasked. How Mexico's 50-plus consulates are running shadow campaign to sway U.S. elections. Red Dawn. U.S. general plotted with CCP-tied mogul to seize strategic islands for China, tell-all claims. Horror as judge and his wife are both shot by suspect who knocked on door of their Indiana home as cops hunt gunman. Trump appears at college national football championship with family. May the best team win. Time to admit it, America. He's a dangerous lunatic moron. Brooklyn Beckham accuses Victoria Beckham of hijacking wedding dance. Don Lemon tells Nicki Minaj to sit the F down after gay diss. China's consumers refuse to open their wallets. Is luxury phobia the problem? January 21st, 2026. Trump marks first year in office with unhinged racist rant targeting very low IQ Somalis. Trump threatens to blow up whole country in wild warning. Trump's Board of Peace could upend world order, but it faces pushback from allies. Greenlanders told to prepare for potential U.S. invasion. Trump is forced to swap planes after Air Force One made dramatic mid-air U-turn over electrical scare on flight to Davos. Davos destruction. American flags torched. Riot police clashed with protesters ahead of Trump Davos arrival. Newsom calls global leaders pathetic for Trump complicity. President Trump gets slapped with F-bomb by Danish politician on video. Ex-Japanese Prime Minister Abe's killer sentenced to life. China is building a triad reactor system to power world-class chemical plant. She criticized the mayor's support for Israel on Facebook, then the cops showed up at her door. A tough vote to fund DHS and ICE gives Democrats heartburn. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey have been subpoenaed by the DOJ. Bubba squirms. Comer rejects ridiculous offer. Bill Clinton asked to replace Epstein's subpoena with unofficial meeting. LOL. Demands no other members of Congress and no transcripts. Trolls celebrate Jeffrey Epstein's birthday with massive replica of Trump's card. The empathetic left is really upset that JD and Usha Vance are expecting their fourth child. Eugenicist Bill Gates, confronted at WEF in Davos, called out for pushing deadly COVID jab on humanity. Ex-Canadian PM Trudeau laughs about vax deaths. January 22nd, 2026. Panic buying frenzy empties stores as more than 200 million are warned to brace for worst winter storm ever that could make trees explode. ICE says its officers can forcibly enter homes during immigration operations without judicial warrants, according to 2025 memo. Blue lives shunned. NYC hospital staff told injured detectives to go elsewhere after identity mix-up. Nuclear stocks surge after Trump tells Davos U.S. going heavy into nuclear. Trump's Greenland gambit has broken brains across Washington. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Egypt, Jordan, UAE, Turkey, Indonesia, and Pakistan joined Trump's Board of Peace. The U.S. is actively seeking regime change in Cuba by the end of the year. Newsom says White House blocked him from speaking at Global Forum. Vicente says Newsom as Patrick Bateman meets Sparkle Beach Ken. Barron Trump saved woman's life by calling UK cops when she FaceTimed him mid-attack. Chess grandmaster Daniel Nadaritsky died of abnormal heartbeat from accidental overdose, report says. Machete-wielding gang raids Rolex store in London. China found something strange on far side of moon no one had seen in nature. CCP spy money spigot exposed. How a U.S. visa program designed by a Chinese spy lets Beijing funnel money into American elections. Nicki Minaj admits she came to U.S. as illegal immigrant in Facebook post. Michelle Obama laments being known as the wife of Barack Obama instead of being known for her career. Alito asks if past support of Hitler warrants removal of Fed governor. January 23, 2026. Autocrat Avengers assemble at Davos after Trump unveils his Board of Peace. Trump revokes Canada's invitation to Board of Peace in Truth Social letter to Carney. U.S. completes withdrawal from World Health Organization. FBI arrests far-left activists who stormed a Minnesota church. Immigration officers' dogs are being targeted by deranged leftists in Minnesota. White House doctored photo with Google AI to make it look like an activist was sobbing during perp walk. Tenacious D's Kyle Gass breaks silence after making vile comment about Trump. Crocodile tears. Miss Rachel accused of playing victim after blaming the Jews for scandal that saw her like anti-Semitic comment. TikTok finalizes deal with China to avoid U.S. ban, White House official says. Shock confession. Mexican president admits that mass migration is a tool to reclaim and conquer America's Southwest. Schweitzer's The Invisible Coup exposes immigration as a weapon. Intel tumbles after manufacturing snags bedevil comeback. Florida, Texas, and California lead America's housing crash as other Sunbelt states start to crack, as values plunge 7.6%. Sound of madness. Mystery hum rattles American cities as residents report sleepless nights and rising fear. Florida police search for boy seen stomping duck to death, offering a $5,000 reward. Paris Hilton backs bill to fight AI-generated porn online. 49ers now investigating viral theory that blames nearby electrical substation for the team's injury bug. Doomsday prepping for Trump's third term. January 24th, 2026. Massive storm to test power grids across U.S. this weekend. Winter storm. New York, New Jersey, and D.C. declare emergencies as 170 million Americans brace for heavy snow. These are all the signs Trump has had a stroke, says doctor. Trump Board of Peace excludes Canada as Carney pushes back on America first. Starmer says Trump should apologize for insulting UK troops. Drains run crimson with blood and body bags covering the ground and frantic loved ones unaware of their loss. Horrifying vignettes from Iran's monstrous slaughter as death toll reaches 16,500. Put in their place. Trump cabinet secretary rips globalist elites to their faces for pillaging American dream. Vance exposes $7 billion California fraud. This is unfortunately a problem that is much bigger than Minnesota. ICE sends Minnesota man and his toddler to Texas detention center against judge's orders. Arizona AG suggests ICE agents might get shot while enforcing the law because their state upholds stand your ground. Economic strike in Minnesota to protest against ICE. No work, no school, and no shopping. Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino obliterated the fake news media in Minneapolis. Elon Musk says he is an alien in front of crowd at Davos. Gold and silver explosion. Something big is happening. The wannabe influencer who runs the FBI. I don't read. Ryan Wedding, Olympic athlete turned alleged drug kingpin, arrested. ICE detention staff reported death of restrained man as a suicide. January 25th, 2026. Man killed by U.S. Border Patrol wanted to massacre the feds, says DHS. Dispute over gun at center of Minneapolis shooting that saw feds kill nurse. Trump admin claims he brandished weapons at officers, but they appeared to remove it well before opening fire. It's a horror show. Anguish sweeps Minneapolis after federal agents kill another neighbor. Protesters converge on Portland ICE facility after latest Minneapolis shooting, met with tear gas. Anti-ICE rioter bites federal officer's finger off during Minneapolis chaos. Trump's goons are the terrorists. Here's what we must do now. Walls at press conference after Minneapolis shooting. The federal government cannot be trusted. Schumer gears up to derail appropriations bill after Minneapolis shooting. Last look at winter storm models as snow apocalypse begins. Donald Trump threatens Canada with 100% tariffs if Carney makes a deal with China. China's top general under investigation in latest military purge. No anxiety in Tehran as commanders declare readiness for war. Loneliness economy, how China is adapting to a rapid rise in solo living. Jeffrey Epstein's trove of sex toy pics released by Justice Department. Labor and delivery nurse fired for wishing severe childbirth injury on pregnant press secretary Caroline Leavitt. Check out the 3 concepts Trump posted for the arch he's building in D.C. I'm sure the libs won't lose their minds over this. Donald Trump credits secret discombobulator weapon for Venezuela raid on Maduro. January 26, 2026. A battle over the truth erupts after deadly Minneapolis shooting. Trump condemns Alex Preddy for carrying loaded gun at Minneapolis protest. Trump voices disapproval over Alex Preddy shooting and gives Minneapolis immigrants ultimatum as he signals willingness to pull ICE from Minnesota and investigate. Some conservatives veer off party line after DHS agents kill another U.S. citizen. Trump is making an enemy of the gun lobby. White House terror tactics are pushing blue state leaders to active resistance. Yes, it's fascism. Schumer calls on GOP to scrap DHS funding to avoid shutdown. Ferry carrying over 350 people sinks in Philippines, killing at least 15. Runway emergency. Plane crashes with 8 people on board at Maine Airport as snow slams northeast. Hotel evacuates guest after unexplained death of man at Kings Park Hotel near Glasgow. Victoria Beckham reunites with Spice Girls amid high-profile family rift. Super Bowl 60 is set, and it's a rematch from 11 years ago, Patriots versus Seahawks. Iran crackdown among deadliest in modern times, 36,000 plus dead, hospital executions, stuffed alive in body bags. Daughter of top Iranian official ousted from Emory University following massive public outrage. Gavin Newsom humiliated at Davos after trolling Trump with knee pads stunt. Officials warn of illegal Chinese airbags that have killed multiple people with deadly shrapnel to the face. January 27th, 2026. Old reliable. Trump turns to beloved border czar Tom Homan as fractures open in DHS. ICE denies counting bullet holes in Alex Preddy before helping him. Gloves off ICE. Trump admin scores victory as court allows agents to defend against agitators. Barack Obama and Bill Clinton issue similar statements bashing ICE, calling Minnesota riots peaceful, and warning Americans might never get freedoms back. They're scattering. Anti-ICE leftists consider fleeing country after Signal Chat got exposed. It's time to investigate. Newsom slams alleged suppression of anti-Trump TikTok content. Chairman Trump's Board of Peace may be his most ambitious power play yet. Trump threatens Iran with armada bigger than around Venezuela. The last hostage is home and the war in Gaza is over. Israel must finally confront reality. Models that improve on their own are AI's next big thing. AI is causing meltdowns in American offices. It's only getting worse. NFL's scripted conspiracy theory resurfaces as fans find 5-month-old post hinting at Super Bowl 60 matchup. DOJ says 31 additional suspects charged in ATM jackpotting scheme with money funneled directly to Tren de Aragua leadership. RFK Jr. wants to end the war on unproven treatments like stem cell therapy. Canadian PM says he never struck a deal with China after Trump threatens a 100% tariff. Doug Ford and Mark Carney make peace after changes to Chinese EV tariff. Sydney Sweeney, Double D bust for Hollywood sign stunt. Possible trespass and vandalism. January 28, 2026. Ilhan Omar attack suspect identified after furious man launched at Congresswoman and sprayed her with liquid from syringe when she called for Noem to resign during Minnesota town hall. Minnesota raids continue as DHS report indicates 2 agents fired guns at Alex Preddy. Clinical insanity. Nurse urges colleagues to poison, harm ICE agents, and doctor posts location of hotel housing immigration officials. Philly's woke prosecutor says he will hunt down ICE agents like Nazis. Italian officials voice outrage at the presence of U.S. ICE agents at the 2026 Olympics. Maxwell lobs grenade naming 29 protected Epstein friends. John Benet Ramsey isn't in Epstein files despite viral video, John Ramsey says. Family of men killed in Venezuelan boat strike sue Trump admin for damages. Iran's currency drops to record low against dollar, tracking websites say. Chinese Communist Party threatened to shoot Keir Starmer over Shan Yun dance troupe. Trump's embrace of weaker dollar fuels bets on new downtrend. Carney rolls his eyes at U.S. Treasury Secretary, says he told Trump he meant what he said at Davos. Experts say the threat of widespread insanity brought on by AI is worse than you think. Doomsday clock moved closer to midnight. What it takes to defend democracy from autocracy is suddenly crystal clear. A betrayal. Southwest's new plus-size policy leaves some passengers unable to fly. Canada will require refugees and asylum seekers to co-pay for health care starting in May. January 29th, 2026. Alex Preddy spits at ICE agents and smashes federal SUV's taillight in shocking footage taken 11 days before he was shot dead. MAGA melts down at clip of Alex Preddy days before his death. ICE violence is fueled by misogyny and white nationalism. See the shocking proof that Ilhan Omar's attacker is a deranged leftist and that this was a clear false flag. Attack on Ilhan Omar follows years of Trump's targeting her. Tim Walz fears a Fort Sumter moment in Minneapolis. Network of Defiance. Mayor says he's coordinating with other cities' leaders to thwart ICE. Jeffrey slams Stephen Miller as hateful bigot and architect of DHS brutality. 10 U.S. warships in Mideast as Trump threatens Iran. Mohammed bin Salman receives Hillary Clinton in Riyadh. FBI executes search warrants seeking ballots from Fulton County's 2020 election. Bruce Springsteen records song about King Trump's private army, dedicates it to Minneapolis. China's gold fever sparks $1 billion scandal as trading platform collapses. Costco's $4.99 rotisserie chicken gets roasted in lawsuit. Here's what they're claiming. Canuck crackdown. Canada caught red-handed in Olympic qualifying sabotage against American athlete. OpenAI wants to create biometric social network to kill X's bot problem. California. Meta and YouTube face jury in LA trial over claims their apps cause addiction and harms minors. January 30th, 2026. Senate reaches deal ahead of shutdown deadline to fund government and continue ICE talks. State Democrats rush emergency bill to kneecap ICE hours after feds announce new detention facility. Jeffries threatens quick Nome impeachment push, says Stephen Miller also needs to go. MAGA's war on empathy. The attack on Ilhan Omar and Trump's destructive politics of violence. Trump threatens tariffs on countries selling oil to Cuba, declaring emergency. EU scrambles to secure new energy suppliers to curb reliance on U.S. Iran prepares for war as U.S. military armada approaches. Trump's continued obsession with 2020 is a joke. His raid on a Georgia election site is not. Trump says Intel Chief Gabbard at Georgia FBI raid to keep the election safe. Formal complaint. Trump files $10 billion lawsuit against IRS over alleged tax return leaks. Controversial warrantless spying law expiring soon, and Trump officials didn't show for a hearing on it. NIH admits staffer infected with Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever following InfoWars report on accident at Montana Biolab. Tim Walz declares he will never run for elected office again amid Minnesota fraud fallout and ICE shootings, but hints at future plans. Nicki Minaj, dreamer no more? After Trump event, rapper says citizenship paperwork being finalized. Man pretended to be an FBI agent to break Luigi Mangione out of prison. Trump blasts Pro Football Hall of Fame for ridiculous decision to snub Bill Belichick. January 31st, 2026. Shutdown to begin at midnight after Senate caves to Democrat demands on ICE funding. Not so fast. Lindsey Graham holds up Trump-backed spending package over sanctuary cities and Jack Smith provision. Young people are protesting ICE and reenacting immigration raids and online gaming platform Roblox. We will not forgive. Leftist activists storm synagogue, mock Democrat congressman over ICE vote. Israel cleared to buy $6.6 billion in U.S. attack helicopters and assault vehicles. U.S. approves potential $9 billion sale of Patriot missiles to Saudi Arabia. Saudi defense minister says Trump not bombing Iran would embolden regime. Kingdom is on a path toward the light, says U.S. Senator Graham after meeting Prince Khalid bin Salman. U.S. allies are drawing closer to China, but on Beijing's terms. New Epstein files include Elon Musk asking about financiers' wildest party and accusations against Bill Gates. Gates accused of plot to drug wife after sex with girls. Bill Gates issues furious response to Epstein file claims he slept with Russian girls and caught STD, and suggests Slate pedophile was desperate to be his friend. Ghislaine Maxwell claims dozens of Epstein's accomplices got off scot-free. Hackers just took down this massive ICE doxing website. Florida nurse surrenders license after hateful social media post about refusing to anesthetize MAGA supporters goes viral. NFL names convicted fraudster and Democrat donor Dar Mann Chief Kindness Officer and Creator of the Week ahead of Super Bowl 2026. Star Trek gives pacifist Klingon named Jaden 2 polyamorous refugee dads.